In that context, Mr. Secretary, your colleague, your Armed Forces Minister serving under you, James Heapy, said 2 weeks ago, it got a lot of attention for saying this, that he thought it was completely legitimate for Ukraine to be targeting Russia in depth, that means inside Russia, in order to disrupt logistics, and that it was, again, I'm quoting him, not necessarily a problem if the Ukrainians used British weapons in such attacks. I want to ask you what your view is first about the appropriateness of Ukraine attacking inside Russia. Second, whether you think it's okay for them to use British weapons in doing that.
Well, I think that on the first point, Article 51 of the United Nations allows a country to defend itself. Ukraine is perfectly within its right to take action to defend itself from an invader such as Russia, who is illegally occupying and invading their country. That is international law. Part of that response in defending yourself is not only within your country, but obviously to take steps to weaken the army that is currently invading. So it would be perfectly logical that you as a nation, if you wanted to do that, would have to do something about the supply chains that's feeding the Russian army. So I think no one should be surprised. It's what we do as countries. When we're either aiding other countries around the world, if they ask for our assistance, it is not unheard of that countries will attack their attacker by going further up the supply chain. And I think that's just military logic. Otherwise, you'll stop that. If you don't stop the fuels getting to Russian tanks, or you don't stop ammunition or whatever, then that Russian army can continue to illegally act in that country. So I think that's not a surprise. The United Kingdom's weapons, first of all, we haven't really given them weapons that probably could allow them to do that. We haven't given them helicopters or aircraft or very long range equipment. So it is unlikely British weapons could be used across their border. But we are giving weapons to Ukraine in accordance with the sort of United Nations Article 51, allowing them to defend themselves. And if they used British weapons, French weapons, German, anybody's weapons to achieve that effect, as long as it's in accordance with international law and humanitarian law and Geneva Conventions, then of course, that's something that we recognise as a low possibility because of the type of weapons we provided, but nevertheless a possibility because that was the condition we gave it to the Ukrainians, was to defend themselves.